Hey everyone, I'm Just Pruthi from Checkbox, and today I'm here with Matt Johnson, or better known as MJ, our Senior Solutions Engineer. And today our question is, what are the different types of automation?
Good question. So we think about two different types of automation here. We effectively have EPA, or Expert Process Automation, and we also have RPA, Robotic Process Automation. Clear differentiations between the two. Expert Process Automation, you would have an expert with a particular process. Think of a HR onboarding example, or an MNDA or an NDA process. You would understand the ins and outs of that process. We don't expect you as the EPA within the business or the expert of that process to go through and code and do all those things that we would require a developer to go through and build out those applications. More so EPA, think of it as a platform for you as the expert of a process to go through and have the tools to build out that particular process without relying on a developer or someone who might be an IT technical resource.
Right.
Whereas if we think of robotics and robotic process automation is effectively using an application, which in some instances can be quite technical, to go through and build out a linear process. A key example of that being myself being day one. If we wanted to go through and onboard me into particular processes, you would say, Matthew, you need to log into the application. This is your username, this is your password. Open the application up, click in these particular locations, and you will then get that information.
Right.
RPA is effectively taking all those commands that you would provide to me to the computer instead. So once you've gone through and you've provided those pieces of information, we want to capture that linear procedure and give it to the robot. The robot within the computer, and obviously being able to then consume that information. Now, when we think about RPA as well, there are two types of RPA. There is assisted, which is you telling me the information to go through and do my day-to-day function and pressing play. Whereas there is also unassisted automation. That's effectively just allowing me to say, I need to do a weekly consolidation process. At 5 p.m. on a Friday, I need you to go through and compute that information, gather that information and send it back to me. Now, there are also another thing that would need to be taken into consideration with RPA, and that's an orchestrator. Think of an orchestrator as simply just the person or the application that would manage all those armies of unassisted automation applications. So you might need to go through and do an end of week for one application and an end of week for another application. Instead of you having to have RPA 1 and RPA 2, we simply send it to the orchestrator, and the orchestrator can go through and figure out who needs to do that information at what particular point in time.
Right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for that information, Matt. If you guys would like to find out more about the difference between RPA and EPA, please visit our website. We've got a bunch of resources for you to check out. See you guys next time.
Bye.